Well, hello, fancy seeing you here. I don't know whether you're here on purpose or whether you just stumbled across us, but you are listening to the World Cup Song Competition podcast, brought to you as ever by the awesome Singularis Media Group and associate sponsors, Smart Stadia. This is me, Bertie, and you can check out our competition online at worldcupsong.com. Coming up on today's show, we announce 5 new prize categories for World Cup Song. We have interviews with Bendover, and we're going to give you the formula for the perfect World Cup song. We have our charity shout-out, we have Bertie's World Cup Song answer phone, Billy's bets, and we are going to name and shame entire nations whilst giving you the solution for world peace. So here we are, podcast number 3. Me, Bertie, and Billy. How you doing, mate?
Morning. How are you today?
Very, very well. Very, very well. Very excited. It's only 1 week to go before it all kicks off. One person that isn't particularly pleased about last week's podcast is Chris, because, you know, we were all getting excited about 300 songs in the chart. Brilliant. We didn't expect that many. Well, we've seen what's happened this week, haven't we?
I saw him with his head in his hands earlier this week.
Yeah, 36 new entries in the week before the World Cup. Keep them coming. He doesn't mind really. He loves it. It's brilliant. They're still coming in from all over the world, and we've got some stuff on that later in the show where we're going to name and shame those countries that still haven't entered a World Cup song. So, Billy, what makes a good World Cup song?
Well, when it comes to World Cup songs, for me, being the football part of this partnership, for me, it's a chant. It's a terrace chant. I know you'll think more about choruses and riffs and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But for me, it's something that can move from the vinyl, how old am I? From the vinyl straight to the terrace.
I think it's a good point, but you know, I think this is a fascinating question because we've started this competition, World Cup song, but what is the definitive World Cup song? Because I get what you're saying, something that you hear on the terrace, something that is chanted during the games, is definitely a contender for what is the best World Cup song. But I've been looking at all the songs that we've had come in, which is incidentally over 19 hours of World Cup entertainment at your fingertips there. And I've tried to highlight what makes a good World Cup song. We can look back at songs in the past that have done very, very well. But I've picked out about 5 things that I think are the key to making what is a definitive World Cup song. The first thing is a catchy chorus. Let's listen to a couple of those now.
They were the best in the world, the best in the world, the best in the universe, the best in the world. They were the best in the world, the best in the world, the best in the universe, the best in the world. The 66 of their own, I'm bringing that trophy home. Get ready to cause a fuss because we're gonna bring the World Cup home with us. Everybody get delirious because we're gonna bring the World Cup home with us. This is getting really serious cause we're gonna bring the World Cup home with us. Put petrol in the victory bus because we're gonna bring the World Cup home with us. It's gonna be immaculate, it's gonna be spectacular.
Now, you may well say, listening to those, well, it's not the best song in the world, but that's just one element. It's a catchy chorus. It's an earworm, something that people, for the rest of the day, are then humming it and going, I can't get that out of my head, because that's got to be key, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and that's why I think when it moves to the terrace, it kind of like it's been remembered. There's people on there singing it on the terraces. It's promoting the song as well, of course. But also, the reason it's got to the terrace is because, one, it's something that's transferable across not only your club but your national team as well, but around clubs as well. And I also think that if it's one of those choruses with a nice catchy rhythm, And you'll find that that all of the supporters in various clubs will put their own words to it, and I think that's what makes a really good World Cup song.
Now it's time for the country to see just what you're made of. So go out there and show England what you can do. Because England expects to see the ball in the back of the net. We're waiting for the games to begin. They'll put you to the test. But we won't take second best. Because England expects you to win.
Well, you were listening to England Expects there, and we have on the line now Ben Dover. Welcome, Ben.
Hi there, how you doing?
Yeah, really good. Welcome to World Cup Song 2010, the podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, all good. Yes, I didn't realise there was actually quite so many songs out there after looking at your website. But
you're certainly up against it with the competition. But I have to say, I think with the backing group that you've got called, was it Take It?
Take It. Do you see what I did there?
I did.
See what I did there? It's not Take That, it's Take It. So it becomes Bend Over and Take It, which I thought was like fantastically amusingly funny, but there you go.
I'm sure it would be popular. What was your reason for doing a World Cup song? I mean, obviously lots of people have done the same thing. What about yourself? What was the reason behind it?
Well, it's a bit of a weird thing because I'm not. I mean, I've started. I mean, I live right in the middle of what they call the sort of Chelsea village. You know, where the Chelsea training ground is, and so I'd see a lot of Chelsea players all the time. And I've never really been that interested in football. And then obviously living in close proximity to the players, you kind of sort of have a bit of an interest. So I kind of started watching Chelsea quite a bit, and obviously a few of the Chelsea players are playing in the England team. Well, hopefully there will be anyway. And I kind of, the only sort of interest I really had in football was the World Cup, because it's once every 4 years. It's kind of, the biggie, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's always fascinated me how England can, we all seem to be able to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in so many ways, not only football, because football is almost like an allegory for the country, if you will. We all seem to be the nearly people. We can, I'm looking forward to the Olympic Games for the same reason, because I know it's all going to go hideously wrong, because we'll nearly have it. It's like Wembley Stadium. We nearly had it finished on time. The Dome, it was nearly good, and then it was crap, and it's so I'm kind of looking forward to it on two levels. Obviously, I hope we win it, but it is always fun to see.
We can win it this time, though.
It is, yes, we can win it, yeah, but it is always fun to see anything that the English do, sort of running around like sort of Charles Hawtrey in a Carry On film, you know what I mean? So I quite enjoy the comedy element of it and the sort of uselessness, even though we're pretending we're really good at, and then we get down to a penalty shootout. Now, we've had 4 years to practice a penalty shootout, and I think from something like 1986 or whatever, we've lost on penalty shootouts. Now, as far as I'm concerned, someone in the England camp should have the nous to sit down and go, perhaps we should concentrate a bit more on this. So that's the sort of my interest. That's how my interest in football was generated. But I had this idea for this song, just knocking around. I don't know. It's just in my head, because my background is in the music business before I moved into my day job, if you will.
Yeah, sure. Tell us a bit about that, because a lot of people listening will know you for your as a pornographer. Is that the correct term?
Yes, or an adult entertainer, or as I like to call my product, a reality-based, character-led adult comedy drama. So that's, but yeah, my background is, I used to be a drummer. I was a drummer since I left school in 1973. So that's all I've ever done. I've never had a proper job, and I've always been a drummer. I was a session drummer and played on, with loads of groups, sort of in the late 70s, early 80s. And the reason I went into the adult business was actually to subsidise my sort of aspiring rock pop career, because I was a singer as well. So, but unfortunately,
so that was the moonlighting side of what you were doing at that time.
Yes, I was in a band, and obviously we weren't making any money. So I went into a couple of things. I was a male stripper for a while, and I sort of just